born in Ukraine. They are the parents of 3 children. They both served their mission in Russia. Mykola and Violetta moved to Utah 4 years ago for schooling. Mykola graduated from LDS Business College in Tech Support Engineering. He is currently attending UVU with a major in computer science. We will now be pleased to hear from the Onychchuks, and then I'll give some closing remarks when that is finished.
Thank you so much. First of all, we're so excited to be here and nervous a lot. We thought it's going to be not this formal meeting, so if I'm gonna do a little bit, informal here, just forgive me. As you noticed, English is not our native language, right? So we have a huge, heavy accent, and some words didn't make sense, I promise you. So if there's something you won't understand, it's okay. Just either ignore it or guess, whatever I want to say. You can raise your hand and just double check, but it's going to be some kind of make-up words here and there. I'm glad people who set this up here today, the person who threw me under the bus, right here today. I'm glad because if I'm gonna pass out, he's gonna, come here and do the talk for me. So anyway, yes, he knows who's that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Ukraine today, about our conversion story, a little bit of history, and a little bit like what's going on right now over there. This is Ukrainian flag, and you probably saw this all over the places. When we moved here 4 years ago, I told my wife how you guys love your flag. It's just everywhere. Each church building almost has the flag, and I'm like, wow, I wish we can have our flag in Ukraine this often, like each house, and now, of course, it's more common, but especially here, to see Ukrainian flag, I would never believe that we will see our flag just driving through the neighborhoods. So we're so touched. I don't know if you know, but that's the symbols of our flag, right? So the blue color is a symbol of blue skies, and yellow color is a wheat, right? Because we grow, agricultural thing is big in Ukraine, so we grow a lot, and especially wheat. There's another symbol of Ukraine. Maybe you saw this kind of weird shaped 3 thing. Some people saying it's raising phoenix. Maybe. But in this symbol, there is a word, and the word is freedom. So in Ukrainian, freedom sounds like voля. So there is the V-O-L-Y, so voля. So anyway, in this symbol, there's literally a word, freedom. Traditional Ukrainian clothes, it's just, there's a bunch of meanings, and it depends on which region you live in. But mostly it's just the clothes that we wear for some kind of big holidays. Like on Sundays, we can go to church wearing vyshyvankas, and usually there's a bunch of flowers, different kind of colors of flowers too. Yeah.
I will be part of it as well sometimes. My English even more worse than his, but I hope you will understand it just a little bit, So talking about clothes, usually, especially in old times, women, they will make it by themselves. So they will do flowers, on the clothes. I didn't do ours. I'm not too young, I'm just young, for it. I don't have time. Just maybe in future I will try, but not right now, Yeah, we got it. Someone did it for us, and I'm sure some people here they have it too. Yes. Yeah, you can buy it in the store, and it's very popular to wear it on holidays, church time, and weddings. Like big events, and if you feel like you want. But it's kind of expensive, and we're not wearing it like every day because we can afford it or something. But when I will learn how to do it, we will.
She'll learn one day, like in 20 years or so. Well, symbols are big in Ukraine, and it's just everywhere. So in the old days, they make this dolls, right? And it's like representation of father, right, in the house. And of course, dad's supposed to have this vyshivanka, right? It's really traditional. And the mom, of course. Yeah, there's little kids, so there's a doll for each member of the family. Like, Russians, they have those matryoshkas. I don't know if you've heard about that doll, like a wooden kind of doll. You can kind of stack, dolls inside. Well, those Russians, they don't know how to make the really cute dolls like that. So anyway, this is really cool. It's a little bunny, kids. They put that bunny on the finger and just play with that. So yeah.
Our oldest, she had it, and she loved it.
Yeah.
I just need to learn how to make it and make it for my daughters.
So many things we need to learn, huh? This is my favorite one. I call it, how to translate it better? It's like a photo album, like a doll of memories, whatever you want to call it. So in the old days, right? They didn't have like cameras or I don't know, phones or whatever. So they need to make something that will remember them about like some kind of big events in their lives. So people they collect the piece of clothes, and the clothes supposed to be from like some kind of big thing from their lives, like could be from the wedding, right? Just a piece of clothes from the wedding, or like they baptized kid, right? And they have a piece of clothes of that. Anyway, just whatever, like anniversary. And then you have the pieces of clothes, right, from like your grandparents, your parents and so on. And they just made a doll like that, and just family home evening or wherever, they just sit, they bring up the doll, and they just go through this piece of clothes and say, oh, I wear this on my wedding, and that's what happened. So they just verbally, kind of give like a story, one-to-one, to their generations, and explain what happened. And this way, it just were easier to remember some kind of big events in their lives. And yeah, they have something like physical, not like this digital photos we all have thousands of them. Nobody ever watched them. But anyway, this is my favorite one. I love it. Unfortunately, we didn't start this doll like with my grandparents, but we'll in the process. So we're gonna have one. Ukraine is beautiful. This is Kyiv, where I'm from, big city, capital. Maybe you've heard that name. So it's really old. It's been established in 882, I think. So super old. The first city in whole Eastern Europe area. This is another city. It's closer to Poland. So architecture varies, right, from the area where you're living. So if this city closer to it's Lviv, called Lviv, it's closer to Poland. So their architecture is really similar with Poland. Ukraine borders as kind of close to Hungary, Romania, Moldova. So all that areas, who kind of lives close to different countries, they kind of get their culture, language, and architecture. So lots of different cities, they look different in Ukraine because it just all depends where you live. So Lviv looks really European. We have a Black Sea, this is Odessa. It's funny enough that we have Odessa here in US. I didn't know about that, but anyway, this is another really, really old university in the west part of Ukraine. It's beautiful, big, and like I said, pretty old. But then this is one of the squares, and it's nothing like unusual about this, except that in this place, the Ukraine been dedicated for proselyting the gospel. Elder Packer and Elder Oaks, they came to Ukraine in 91, and they dedicated the land. The interesting thing that happened that morning, that they invite like a small group of members for that dedication prayer. In 1991, we have about 5 members, I think. And these 2 apostles, they told this little group of members to kind of wait them by at this square by the hotel where they were staying. Then Elder Packer and Elder Oaks, they got ready pretty early. I think it was like 6 a.m. They were like up in the front of the hotel. Nobody was there yet, and they decided to take a walk. They walked through this central street called Krishatik. Anyway, they just take a walk, just enjoying, architecture, and they were thinking about like future of the church in this land. And then what they saw a big statue, the Lenin statue, that some little group of young men, they just pulling it down. And they said it was like a amazing symbol of, it was amazing to see how like the symbol of Soviet Union just falling down in that same exact day when they were ready to dedicate Ukraine for the proselyting the gospel. So they just testified that they saw this and they didn't believe that it's true, because Lenin was big, right? In Soviet Union time, it was like his statues were everywhere. Anyway, that little group of members, well, some of them were members that time, some not yet. But yeah, it was, they did that dedication prayer over by the statue of King Vladimir. And that's another interesting thing, because King Vladimir, he went to Constantinople like a long time ago, and he decided to accept Christianity. And he asked those people, like, what we're supposed to do in order to be Christians. And he'd been told that he needs to be baptized. And all of his people in the whole city needs to be baptized. And he's like, okay, that's easy. So he came back, and over here by the bank of the river, he gathered all city, like all people there, in the same day, and he said, you all are going to be baptized because we are accepting Christianity, like right now. And they were baptized. Anyway, in that same place, in that same spot, Elder Oaks and Elder Packer, they decided to dedicate the land. Pretty symbolic for us. Then, actually, well, Ukraine is like right there, right? So, like I said, we have borders like with Romania, whatever, Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland, Belarus. But church actually came to this post-Soviet Union countries from Finland. And as you know, Finland is a small country. It's like 3 million people lives there. It's like a Salt Lake. But we used to have members there in 1990s. So members from Russia, they travel back and forth, and they've heard about church. They have some friends who were members, and that's how church came to Eastern Europe from Finland. We're really grateful for those Finnish members, really brave people. Just one second. And then this is Viola's story of her baptism.
Yeah, so I was 12 and my classmate, so I had big problems with English at school. And she's like, I know a place where they can help you. It's like some American people over there and they helping with English. You can go with me. So I went for one English class. It's how they call it in English practice. They call it in back. So missionaries, they helping with English and making missionary work this way. You know, people coming to see Americans, help with English, and they will be interested in church sometimes. You know, it's what happened to me. So I came, I saw, I was like, I will never come back there, it's a weird place. So I left. And that time we didn't have church buildings. And sometimes even right now we don't have like church buildings. They will rent some room in some store or anything like that. You know, like some buildings that they have empty room and they can take it for Sundays. And it was kind of like that. And I come back home and I say like, I'm okay to have problems with English, I will not come back. And one day me and my mom, we were walking our dog outside and I saw missionaries and I said, Mom, they're Americans. And she's like, no, they're not, look at him, he eat borscht all his life. So I don't know if you know what borscht is, it's kind of soup, red soup with beets. It's very yummy, you know. And she's like, he was growing on the borscht, you can tell. And you know, they were closer and closer, and I'm just like, be quiet, let them go, and I will explain to you who is it. And when they go next to us, she was like, are you Americans? And this guy turned and said, no, I'm Ukrainian. And she's like, I told you. And other one was like, I'm American. I'm like, I told you. So both of us were right. And so because I'm not from Kiev, I'm from tiny city next to Russia. It's Lugansk. Maybe you know, it's Donbass area. So this Ukrainian guy, he came from Kiev to Donetsk mission. So he served in Ukraine from Ukraine. And it probably was the best option for me and for my parents to see that church is good for me, you know, because he was kind of like native and easy understand and everything for my parents. So they invited me for church and I just went to the church on Sunday by myself because my mom was working all the time. And I was 12. When I came in, I saw a girl my age. She was super nice and talked to me and I was like, if she is nice, probably the rest of the people will be the same. And it was true, you know, everyone was nice, friendly, and I loved it. It was opposite experience from English practice. Because it wasn't members of the church over there, you know. It was just people like me who came for English, not for church. So, and I never left after that. I was in church every Sunday. And my mom, she was with me on the lessons with missionaries, but she never been baptized. It was just me. But my parents, they very supportive. They're my best friends, you know. So they go with me. They understood it's a good place for me. And they say like, if we will not let you do it right now, you will do it when you will be 18. So if you want to do it, just do it. And it's how I was baptized. It was in sauna. So because we don't have special place, you know, we would find any space, any spots with water. So it was one of these, you know. And it was kind of weird. Do you have this picture with, it's my family and some neighbors. I was so excited to be baptized, so I told everyone, I will be baptized, you need to come and see. People didn't understand what is it and they never come, but one of my neighbors came and I was super happy about that. And so it's my sister, my mom, my dad, and friends. I was baptized in kind of thing like this, and water was so deep, because it's kind of for you jump in after you hot, you know, you jump in the cold water, That's why they had this deep, small and deep tub, probably, I don't know how to call pool. And I was staying on the ladder because I couldn't reach bottom of the pool, you know. So in missionary, he was kind of short too. You can tell from, you see, he's not very tall. So it was kind of interesting experience, you know, to hold, and he was, but I was happy. I still was happy. And when I was 21, I went on the mission, and I served my mission in Siberia, Russia. My mom asked me what I did bad in my life. You know, when I opened my papers, and I said, like, Novosibirsk, Russia, and she's like, oh, you did something bad, yes, or what? Because in old times, you know, they would send people to Siberia if they do something that government will not like. I didn't do anything to government, but probably, you know, maybe I need something tough to change my personality. I don't know. So I went to MTC Prova. That time we all flew to Prova. I don't know, it was cheaper for church to send us to Prova than build our own MTC in West Europe. So I had two companions. One of them was from Armenia, other one was from Kazakhstan, and I was from Ukraine. And when we walk around, people ask us what language we speak, and we like Russian. It's like, why you speak Russian if you're all from 3 different countries and it's not Russia? Like, because in Soviet Union we all speak the same language, you know, and we all served our mission in Russia. It's other picture from the mission, and it's my favorite one. I look like this all the time. And it's kind of a weird experience, you know, it's when it's very cold, your feet can be freezed, and they asking us to check each, like, companionship, like check each other, because not sisters, elders will freeze their nose all the time. You can feel when it's, you know, frozen, like, and it will be red, super red, and after it will be super white, and it will stay like this, and it will look like you burned it, you know. It never happened to sisters. I never saw sisters with white nose, but elders all the time, you know. And they ask us to put our feet in the cold water if you've frozen, not warm, cold, and it feels like it's super hot. I don't know why. And I come back from my mission, and he will continue.
Yeah, you can tell Bill was pretty tough. Serving in Siberia, you know, well, they had a rule that companions, they need to watch each other, right? So if you have that white spot, that means it's a frostbite, you know?
Yes.
And that's why elders, they always have that frostbite, because they just, you know, they don't care. And, you know, sisters, they watch each other really well, so you can tell. Anyway, yeah, she's really tough. That the little swimming pool in sauna. So sauna, it's like a steam room, right? You just go there. It's really, really hot, and it's just good for your health, you know, to have that difference in the temperature when you like get really, really hot and then you jump in this cold water. And that little swimming pool there, just built for one person, you know, so you can just jump in, you know, and it's really deep. And yeah, I know some missionaries, they've been trying to put like a chair, you know, on the bottom, or they hold the, you know, on that ladder, and sometimes, you know, when there's like a little kid or somebody, you just basically do this, you know, because it's so deep.
And I am so proud, it's funny, but I'm pioneer in Lugansk city. I was 67th member of the church. So first 100 is pioneer, and like, it's kind of cool, you know?
Somebody told them that first 100 is pioneers, you know. I don't believe that, maybe because I'm like in thousands somewhere. But anyway, my dad, he started to look for a church at some point. He was interested in a religion. I don't know why. He just, one day, he decided to find a church. He prayed a lot.
It's not him.
Yeah, he's not home now, and he just can't get home to get that pictures. But anyway, he prayed a lot, and he invited different kind of missionaries to our house. And I remember those missionaries. Some of them they prayed in different languages, what they call, missionaries from other religions. And he's like, whoa, 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 stop right there. I'm sorry, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel the Holy Ghost. So one day, he decided to stop my neighbor, who was like running to the church, and the neighbor was a bishop. It's not him again, but anyway, he was like that. He was running, and he was branch president at that time. And my dad, he said, "Hey, Victor, can you tell me about your church?" He's like, "No, I can't. Come and I'm gonna show you. I'm in a hurry." My dad's like, "Okay, well, give me a sec to do a stop." And he's like, "Well, you can chase me. I'm gonna be in this bus stop over there." He's like, "Okay." So my dad put the clothes, just run to the bus stop really quick. And he got to church. He come back and he said, "This is it. I feel like this is it." He just felt the same moment, the same day. And I asked him, "So tell me what happened." And he's like, "It was the best experience ever. I felt amazing. Yeah, I was 8 years old, but I was so interested in that." And he said, "Somebody stole my coat." I'm like, "Okay, how did that happen?" So, like Viola said, we rent a place, and some people, we didn't have anyway, we hang our coats, by the entrance over there. It was just one of that kind of buildings. Anyway, somebody come over, pick I don't know, my dad's coat for some reason, and just take it. So, Elders Quorum President, he heard about that. And that same Sunday, he come to my dad and he said, "I've heard something happened. Somebody stole your coat or something." He's like, "Yes, but it's okay." He's like, "No, it's not okay." And he laughed. And it's probably not the best picture of Elders Quorum President, but he was big. He was like heavy lifter. He's like right there. And he's like, "Give me a sec." And he just ran somewhere. And we ran that building over by the railroad, like a tracks kind of station. And the only way to get to the buses was that walking bridge across the railroads. So anyway, this Elders Quorum President, he ran through the bridge, stopped the guy, turned him around, and he said, "It's not your coat, take it off." And the guy is like, "Okay." So he gave him a coat, and the Elders Quorum President brought that coat back to my dad. It was interesting. I still not believe that it happened, but it does happen. And we're still not sure if that was the right coat though. The coat got back. Then my dad, he'd been baptized in the river, and I baptized year after in kind of like a swimming pool. So that's another picture, some baptismal sessions been organized like in a public swimming pool.
Like a rec center.
Yeah, like a rec center, just a public swimming pool, and here we are just baptizing people. A year after, we went to Germany. So for the temple trip, we didn't have a temple for about 20 years, I think, in Ukraine. So the trip to temple was they organized these buses. So we just pay, to get a seat in the bus. You have to plan a year ahead. For that trip, you gotta get 2 visas, to Poland, Polish visa and German visa to cross that 2 borders. And yeah, sometimes it takes 24 to 35 hours to get there, just one way, And then we stay there for a week and come back. It was a big sacrifice for my parents, for us, but yeah, we did it. We've been in the temple. This is that little Freiburg, Germany temple that we really love. It's our favorite because it's our first one. And yeah, and Viola, she never went to the temple like before her mission. So she went on the mission. She came here, and she got her endowment in the Provo temple because she just didn't have a chance to leave the country because you gotta get permission from parents, and parents were not members. So anyway, yeah, I started my mission too. I came here too. That's me, my baby face, lots of hair, but it's okay. After one day, during our missions in Russia, I served in St. Petersburg. Beautiful place, amazing weather. I'm sorry, but lots of museums, Oh, it was an incredible place. I feel bad that were struggling, in Siberia. But during that time, our temple been built in Kiev, in our city, and it's been dedicated right there. We missed all fun stuff, those concerts and everything that they do before like dedication. I don't. Do you do that here? Do you do like a big concert kind of thing? Yeah. Yeah. So we missed all of that stuff, but temple is there, and we've been so blessed to have a temple. My dad, he got a job in the temple grounds. He's a supervisor of the whole temple grounds, so his crew taking care of the grass and trees and everything there. It's interesting because he has like lots of contractors, right? Who come and do like a business with the church and so on. They sell like lawnmowers, fertilizers, those kind of stuff. To the church, and my dad, he always like in contact with them. So those people, those private contractors, they're not members, most of them. And what they do, they put us at the temple as the advertisement, on their websites, like everywhere. Like, well, go to this Mormon temple and see their grass. It's amazing, right? Because it's our fertilizer. So. It's interesting, but it works. I mean, people come, check, and our missionaries right there. Lots of people just stopping by because they have no idea what the building is. Every time my dad shops in this grocery store across this highway, it's like he asks the cashiers, do you guys know what that building is? No, we're not sure. We've heard it's a temple. It's like, well, let me tell you what it is. Now they know him. All of them know him. So he needs to come up with something different, some different approach. But after our missions, okay, I come back, she come back, and I met her. Right? That was a good picture, maybe for different meeting or something. But anyway, this is our first.
We did the same thing for youth. It's why he made some humor. It's why we still have.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, she looks good in the picture though. But this is our first time. First time we went to the temple. I've met her there. So there's like a little bench.
I will tell.
Okay.
You will not tell the same way, So when we served mission, someone from my mission served like his companion. From Novosibirsk, he was sent to St. Petersburg, and he sent me a letter with his picture and said like, I have Ukrainian companion. Do you know him? I'm like, if I would know him, we would sending messages to each other, during the mission, but I don't know him. And he's like, he has girlfriend, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. So I come back, and I moved from my little city to the Kiev just for summer to work. I had some job opportunities there to try. So, and 1 week before my job started, I decided to go to the temple every day. It's probably why I was so blessed to meet him, you know? So I came there, and after a session, I was getting down. We have this white leather, how to say, stairs, yeah, and couch under it. And when I was walking, I saw him on the couch. I'm like, wait a minute, it's this guy from the picture, you know? And in my head, I was like, it's my future husband. I'm like, no. And he saw me, he started talking to me because he heard about me from the same guy, you know? And I'm like, I think I know you. And he's like, yes, I think I know you too. But again, he had girlfriends at the time, so, you know. But something happened between them, I don't know. And a week later, he gave me a call that, you know, if you want to go to far side, I don't know how he got my number, I didn't give it to him, so. You know. And I came to this far side super excited because I thought he will be there and we will have conversation and maybe he will walk me back. He never said anything to me, even hi. I saw him sitting, walking, you know, and he looked at me and never said anything. I'm like, okay. So, and week later, I called him and said, all ex-missionaries who served together going, you know, just for a walk, if you want to come, just come. He came, and 3 weeks later, he asked me to marry him. It's a mess.
It was a little too quick, okay? But we have 2 kids, amazing family. Yeah, 3. Yeah. I still remember how many kids do we have, so it's a good sign. We got married in that same temple. It was amazing time. We were so happy. For our honeymoon, we went to Egypt.
But you need to know, church is so small. It's hard to find someone like to get married. So when you find it, you're lucky one.
You're just taking it, right?
It's because I served in Siberia, you know. It's why.
Yeah, she's been blessed.
I don't know why. What happened to you?
Yeah, I just. Anyway, yeah, the youth community is kind of small. So you have like 10 girls maximum, right, in big city. So like it's not that hard to pick, right? You just have 10. You just go through them, you know, really quick, date with them, like you know exactly what you need. So yeah, 3 weeks, I knew exactly that this is it. Anyway, our life starts, you know, went to Egypt, was amazing. First trip, you know, outside the country. We got Leah. She's 8 years old now. She was perfect baby. I got a job. I work for a church as a mission driver. So I was in charge of the whole logistic in the mission. Missionaries cannot drive, unfortunately. They're in Eastern Europe area. Churches does not allow them to drive. Something happened like, I don't know, 15 years ago, and they said, no, we're gonna hire drivers and they're gonna take care of all the transportation. So yeah, I drove them around. I drove around Mission President, some area presidency, some apostles. It was a great time. I've been so blessed to kind of get that spiritual, you know, experience. We drove around some senior couples. We take them to some like museums. So yeah, it was fun. It was a really fun job. It takes lots of time, lots of effort. I work like 60, 70 hours a week. But yeah, it was a good time for me, probably not for her. It was too hard for her. But anyway, missionaries, they did not get that luxury, right? They drove like public buses and, you know, little kind of smaller buses, wherever it goes. At this picture we baptized, mission president baptized his youngest daughter in the Black Sea. It was great experience too. This is one of our church buildings. It's in a little village. I mean, today our buildings looks, we have only 2 like church-owned buildings like this one, but most of them we just rent, but it still looks like a normal, church building with the chapel and stuff. But this is the house of one of the members there, and he said, I can, that's fine, we can do our church meetings at my home. So for about 7 years, every Sunday they take their furniture, everything, like from their bedroom, outside, from the living room and bedroom, they put it outside, do the meeting because it's a small house, right, and then put everything back. They're superheroes. And his wife is probably the best. Who would handle that, right? They baptize people in the river. I've been in this baptisms, and if you're gonna ask like what they're gonna do on the winter time, well, winter is not that long, right? They can wait. But no, we actually we brought some like, I don't know how you would call it, like a mobile portable like pond or something like that, right? So it takes forever, like 10 hours to fill this up and then drain it. But yeah, it's just in their living room there.
Oh my God.
People right there, and then put the furniture back. So yeah, this is a sacrament meeting, kind of table. Looks kind of cool over by the fireplace. So the life was great. We work hard, but we just, lots of spiritual experience, and yeah, we just started. And then something happened that I was taking an area president downtown there, and we saw lots of people just walking back from the main square. And what happened, like an hour later, after I dropped him off his hotel, that police, they just come and beat up the people who just come for a protest. It was 7 years ago, right? Yeah, probably more. Yeah, about 9. So the very next day, people were so mad that they saw this, and next day, like a couple million people come back and they said no. They told our president that he's not a good person. He can't do that with our people, and all of this starts. It was just peaceful protest, but yeah, that president of Ukraine, he was just a not good person. But anyway, during this thing, Russia took over like Donbas area, right? They just saw that the government's kind of weak, so they took over Crimea and the Donbas area when the government was kind of trying to figure out like what to do with these people and how to like what to do, right? But anyway, everything settled down. We've got a new president. Everything kind of come back to the normal. And like about 4 months ago, Russia started this invasion, right, of Ukraine. My mom called me that morning. She said, I hear the bombing. And I said, just pack your stuff and leave. And they were kind of 80% ready. So
you need to know the church evacuated missionaries like 2 weeks before that. And
yeah.
It happened to my parents 9 years ago. When church evacuated like missionaries from my city, I told my parents like something bad will happen. Church never take their missionaries out only for a really serious reason. And we called to his parents and said like something will happen, and no one believes it. Like they will never do it. Like so many years they were talking about that, but they will never do it. And like if church, our prophet, he is praying. He knows probably better sometimes than us. I don't know, probably. And we ask them to prepare not something. Yeah, he knows better. It just So we ask them to prepare bags with important stuff, medicine, and all this. And they're like, yes, we will prepare it, but we will never use it. They truly, all people truly believe that they will never do it to their neighbors.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because in the old days we read like a Bible, Book of Mormon, and people don't believe prophets, right? They think no, no. I mean, not this time. Maybe later. Maybe anyway. Till the very last moment, people just tend to not trust for some reason. My parents, they got prepared and they just left. They sit in the car and they just drive to the Poland, to the Polish border. Took us a while, during the time. I mean, during their ride, they just saw horrible stuff, like destroyed buildings and bombs and everything. But anyway, they got to the border. They were in the line. It was like, let's see, 36 kilometers, like 20 miles line, of cars to the Polish border. So they spent like 3 days there, just waiting in the line, and you have to. It's crazy. But they didn't. On the third day, they gave up. They just gave up, and I'm like, Dad, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I feel like we gotta try another border. I'm like, you're gonna go there, and you're gonna stay in that line for 3 more days. I'm like, no, I feel like we have to try something else. So they just drove around after 3 days in the car. They tried another border and they got through like really quick, like in 40 minutes. Because my mom with my sister and her 2 kids, they just walked through the border. They didn't wait, to kind of drive through. So here's my mom and my sister with kids, and my dad, he stayed in Ukraine because he, man, like 18 to 60 years old, they can't leave the country. But at the same time, they can't fight. So they just waiting. Anyway, there's a lie, like in Ukraine, like 30% of Ukrainian military is supposed to die before they can call civilians. But anyway, my dad, he came back to Ukraine and he shuttled people to the Polish border. So he just take women and kids and he just drove them there, which was a great experience for him because he knew the roads at that point. So he helped a lot of people. People here, they got united too. We've got lots of calls and people who wants to support. We sent some packages. This is one of our friends. He was just sending packages to to our friends there. That's the line. Elder Uder, he came over to Warsaw because we have a church there. In whole Poland, Polish people, they're really Catholic. So unfortunately we have only one branch in Poland, and it's in Warsaw. I believe it's only two. I think 2. We have one in Krakow. Anyway, so Elder Frischnik, wife Uhdorf.
It's a German last name.
Yeah, we have another friend with a German name. But he came over and he support our members there. He just he did like a little fireside, and it was so great to see how people from all over the places got united and help each other, especially in the church. And what a great experience for them to have Elder Dieter Uchter over there with that saints who just left Ukraine. We did a couple of projects too. We did some fundraisers, and our friends, they had cars there. They stayed in Ukraine, and every day, like it was like their full-time job. They just go to the grocery stores, buy groceries, and just deliver to people because public transportation didn't work that time, and there needs to be somebody who deliver food. So this is that was one of our projects. That's another 3 families that we were able to help, and people donate money, and we help these 3 young moms with the kids to get out from Ukraine, and right now they're in Germany. Like I said, lots of people got so united, and so they were willing to help, and that help was real. I mean, that's only a few projects that we did, but we're so grateful for that. my wife's new hobby, take pictures, and sometimes I'm just so tired, to stop by each. But anyway, if that's what makes her happy, I'm cool with that. Yeah, she has way more. Anyway, those members in Warsaw, they got another great opportunity to get to the temple, and that's that temple in Germany where we were sealed. I just want to say that we're so touched by everybody in the world. It doesn't matter what people do. It's either flag or they put in their porch, or they just share or talk about Ukraine, or they donate anything, or they just donate to the church so church can help. We're so touched that people cares, and these members who left Ukraine, they came back to the temple where they were sealed, and that was another big blessing for them. I just want to say that members, they have that anchor, that they're holding on, because not many people can handle this horrible stuff mentally, and we have each other, we have light of Christ, we have Holy Ghost, right? We have friends, members, we have church, and we know that we never alone. But the most important, that we have Jesus Christ, and He's the one who gonna just hug you, support you, and feel you. And He's more real than we think. He's exists. He's alive. I know it. He's way more real than we think. Sometimes I think He's just somewhere far away, but it's not. And we have that hope, and these members have that hope. And it's way easier to stay with the Christ and be in His church and have this knowledge, which I know that this knowledge is true. And I know that He lives, and He always there for us. We just gotta be probably be brave to kind of talk to Him, because sometimes our emotions can't overcome. I know this church is true. I know He's there for us. I know that we can do anything together. And I see this in my life, in my family life, and in my country. I see this, that together we're so strong. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mykola and Violetta. That was awesome. We wish you the best, your family the best. We will conclude by singing hymn number 255, Carry On, after which the benediction will be given by Sister Sharon Proctor. And just a reminder, there's refreshments in the back in the cultural hall.
Dear Heavenly Father,